Specifically with friendship, did this pretty sister concept and mindset shape how you approach friendship growing up?
Yeah, I think that's a great question because the first thing that comes to mind, it's my family. Like I think friends, I growing up felt that my family was the most important people to me. And now that I'm older, I don't live with my parents anymore. I'm kind of an adult. I kind of do this college
Kind of
thing.
the college girl.
Yeah. I've learned that the people you want around you, anyone can be family. It's not just people by blood. Even people that don't always maybe you don't have to have a commitment to people to treat them like family or to feel like family. And I think growing up, I loved this Pretty Sister tribe, like you mentioned, because it taught me the importance of you can get together with anyone and have a party and have fun. and you do things for the people that you love because you want this connection.
Yeah.
And you want it to last. You want it to feed into your week. You want it to make it an impact. And I think my friends, the reason I love my friends is because I've helped them become part of my family. They've invited me in, I've invited them in.
Yes.
And
you have this reciprocal relationship of love and
yes,
commitment to each other, because it is work to be a good friend, don't you think? I mean, are you kind of putting some effort into it? And even when you've gone through new situations, so you moved away from home when you graduated. Well, you moved was it during high school or in junior high you moved in Colorado? You moved a couple of times.
I think it was right before I started high school. So
okay, so that's not easy for most people to learn how to make friends. Maybe some of the moving that you did helped you to navigate making new friends, because you did have that move right before high school. You moved to a different state for college and lived kind of close, but a little bit further from even me.
Yeah.
So you were kind of on your own there. You went on a mission and lived for 18 months on your own. You're back to college. So you've had to, it hasn't been easy, has it? Or does it feel easy to make friends? Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Like, how are you doing it? How are you making friends and prioritizing that?
I think now that's a good question, because now it feels like it's easy to make friends. But when I did have my first move in Colorado, I was so lonely.
Were you?
Middle school was really hard. I felt like I didn't have a lot of friends or people that, I could really connect with and feel close to. And then I had some girls reach out to me, and, it was the classic, they sat with me at lunch, or when I had a birthday party, I wanted to invite a bunch of people. And I had just this group of girls that they were like, we want to come to your birthday party. And some of those friends carried into high school. And then I did sports and made more friends. And I think it all just starts with someone reaching out, whether it's, you reach out to someone reaches out to you and you accept. Just this kind of look out for those people, because you will find friends, honestly, in places you didn't think you'd find them.
So it does take either, you said this, somebody has to reach out, and that could be them or you.
So it takes a little work.
So it does take some work and some openness and receptiveness. So I think it's important to remember that there's effort on either part, and that might change over time and situationally based on circumstances. But I think to be a good friend, we have to remember that someone, if they're inviting us, say you're the person getting the invitation, it might take some vulnerability on the other person's part, and we need to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Before we even just turn people down or brush people off or don't respond to a text, or that can hurt some feelings. And I think we could be kinder by accepting. And of course, have boundaries. You can't do everything, for sure. But let's be mindful when people do take that shot, when they shoot their shot.
Yes.
That's what my sons would say. Mom, I had to shoot my shot
with a girl.
Yeah. Or then if you're not getting invited, you gotta do that yourself. Like, who's responsible for your happiness, Audrey?
We are.
You are. Good girl. Good girl. You're responsible. It's not everybody else's job to make you happy, right?
We create opportunities for ourselves. And sometimes, opportunities, they come to you and it's like, wow, I've been thinking about this and hoping, wishing. But oftentimes that's something that we have to kind of get up and be a little brave. I think friendships, it also, like that kind of bravery, and you mentioned vulnerability. It's so true. Like, if you want to have a lasting connection with someone and really get to know them, it's not just this passive thing, oh, I'm going to sit next to them, great word, friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of got to chat a little and really take an interest in who they are. And that's another thing I learned about from Pretty Sisters is we are interested in who you are, who you want to be. Like I have all these, these, I think not so much more memories because I feel like I'm a little older now, but feelings. Like I know 100% that I felt safe, I felt loved, and I felt like I had people who wanted me to be someone and to be successful and be happy. And
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you felt that way,
and I still do. That's the best part. Is it lives on.
Yes, Well, I think we as aunts, and your mother is one of my best friends in life, and just such an amazing person. But we did love you, little girls like that.
Yeah.
And I'm getting emotional thinking about it because we had these little babies kind of at the same stage, and these little girls that you love so much, and you see their potential, and you want them to be happy. You want them to know how to be happy and how to cultivate friendships. And I think because friendships were such a happy part of my life, and I know your mom's life, she's such a friendship person. She's got her best friends from high school. Yeah. She's collected friends along the way, and you've watched and seen her grow, as you've grown up, you've seen her.
They all know who I am.
Yeah. You've seen her with her friends, and her friends all love you and care for you. So this tribe of sisterhood was really a big part of things. But we wanted you girls to grow up and have these same blessings and gifts, and the fruits of it, the confidence that comes from women supporting women and being allies to each other. It truly is better together when we're supportive. And so, Audrey, did you have some mean girl experiences?
Mean girl experiences.
And not that you have to bring them up, but just have you run into a time when someone hasn't been nice to you, or it hasn't gone your way, or you felt left out?
I think I've definitely seen the mean girls kind of from the outsider perspective, where I was really lucky to have girls that, were these really supporting girls. But I saw some friendships that just, you hear the classic, a fake friend. And I think when it comes to those fake friendships, the reason was because they didn't genuinely care, I think, for that person's happiness or their success. It's really easy to judge someone, your friend, because you know so much about them. You're with them all the time. And it's easy to judge them for their choices. It's easy to sometimes be jealous too. I think sometimes that's what girls can tap into is, they wish that they had it. And so they can be mean. They can talk bad. They can spread rumors. And I had this friend in high school where we actually saw some of that, and we did not want to be like that. And so she and I were chatting about this actually the other day, is she told me that she was grateful for an experience where I had brought something up with her that I felt like I needed to communicate, for my well-being, for her well-being, for our friendship.
Yeah.
And she told me that she was grateful that I was willing to say kind of the hard thing. And we were in high school. I think this might have been our junior year. And we both just had felt, like we really care for each other as friends. I want you to be happy. And right now I'm not happy. And it's so easy to tap into this. I'm not happy, so I want you to not be happy either.
Too. So
I don't know why people do that.
Parade.
Yeah. And luckily I had this friend I have this friend. She's still my best friend. We wanted what was best. And so
you communicated.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of maturity, because I think a lot of times people just don't communicate their needs or communicate their experience. And then that back, talk begins, those back channels or the gossiping and whatnot, when direct communication is so much better, and it makes you stronger. It sounds like a major friendship grows stronger because you just were willing to say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I need. And then because she loved you too, you figured it out.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's so important. And so important that what I'm learning here from talking to you about this, because I think it's fun for me to interview these girls and find out truly, I don't know. So I'm asking these questions. We haven't talked about it prior to this interview, how it's affected you. But I do see you, and I see what's happening in your life, and I see the fun college time that you're having, and it brings me so much joy. But I love that you're sharing with us that when mean girl stuff was happening, it just wasn't for you.
Yeah.
So like you just steered away from it. So what that tells me is you knew how to not do it and know like, that's not my energy. That's not my vibe. I'm not participating. But it just wasn't attractive to you and you just let it alone. So you didn't participate. You didn't add to it. You just let it alone.
Mm-hmm. And I think,
and you probably, I'm guessing you just was like, all right, you be you and I'm gonna be me, and no hard feelings. Yeah. But it's just not for me. And I think that's what we can do. We can just drop it. Just don't do it.
You don't miss it.
Yeah,
you really aren't attached to it.
And if you're so worried what other people are doing, and I've had this conversation and even seen adult women have this problem of feeling left out and seeing what other people are posting and feeling like people are being cliquey and kind of calling it what it sometimes is, which is sometimes it is mean things. But if you're what you did with that is you just walked away from it. It didn't affect you, which I think is so healthy, because what the trap people get into is when they see that happening and they ruminate over it and they allow themselves to feel left out and they talk about it too much or gossip about it or just give it too much power and energy over them, which it just doesn't need to happen, because you can just simply decide, oh, that's not for me. Those aren't the behaviors that I do, or I just don't like that. And then go about your life, go about your business, creating your own happy life, your own friendships, your own circles of trust. You're empowered to do that. That's what you get to do, to continue your happiness and to be in charge of it.